Hello, I'm Amy Zaley with the Jerusalem Connection Red Alert Report for Wednesday, September 12th. An unfortunate update. About 2 weeks ago, I reported on our Wednesday update that the singer Lena Del Rey refused to succumb from pressure from Roger Waters and his BDS group to cancel her appearance at a music festival in the north of Israel upcoming. Well, with regret, she has changed her mind and has withdrawn her position at the Meteor Music Festival to happen in 2 weeks in the North Galilee region at a kibbutz in Israel. As reported by Amy Shapiro in the Jerusalem Post, Lena Del Rey announced just last Friday evening that she would not appear in the media festival in the Upper Galilee. It is important for me to perform for both Palestinian and Israeli audiences and treat my fans equally, Del Rey wrote on Twitter. Unfortunately, it has been impossible for me to line up both visits in such short notice. Therefore, I'm postponing my appearance at the Meteor Festival until time when I can schedule visits for both Israeli and Palestinian fans. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that particular reasoning for canceling her appearance when it is not the fault of the Meteor Festival organizers nor the fans in the region that she could not secure another venue in the Palestinian territories so that she can perform for those fans. So she's punishing one set of fans because the other set can't get a venue together for her. So I think that's a little disingenuous, but you know what? Maybe she really is trying. I would love to see Ms. Del Rey release a new schedule where she is performing in the Middle East at every available venue to meet all her fans in person. On the flip side of that reversal, there is a music festival happening in Germany where they actually disinvited a BDS activist, a singer and producer known as Brian Eno from the UK. Eno's appearance was supposed to be in the Dusseldorf music event, and he was on the docket since last November of 2017. Now, this music festival is slated for October of 2018, upcoming next month. The organizer, one Rogier Esch, told the Westdeutsche Zeitung newspaper that Eno's advocacy for boycott, divestment, and sanctions was not known to the organizers last November when the electricity conference was being organized. Esch told the paper that it was only a right decision to disinvite him because we do not want to invite anyone who supports activities against the state of Israel, even if you cannot agree with a current settlement policy. Esch went on to tell the Westdeutsche newspaper last week that he was in Israel for 5 days recently, and that personal experience of visiting the country sanitized him against BDS efforts. The Westdeutsche newspaper also reported that in part of his visit, Eno's visit to Dusseldorf, they were also supposed to have him put on an art exhibit of his video artwork, as well as have a workshop at a local college. These also included BDS activities or underlays or the fear of it, so they have canceled both the artwork display, video artwork display, and the conference or workshop at the local university. Esch, the organizer of the electricity conference in Dusseldorf in Germany, thought that in April he could separate Eno's political thoughts with his art, but he said that his participation in BDS activities is just too jarring. Eno is a fierce opponent of Israel and exerted an enormous pressure on various artists over the years to not perform in Israel, including Australian singer Nick Cave. I actually reported this last year that Nick Cave had not been slated to perform in Israel, but was asked by Eno and the Roger Waters group to sign an open letter denouncing Israel. Cav rebuffed this, stating, "A few years ago, Brian Eno sent me a letter and asked me to sign it to shut out Israel. I sent a letter back that I wouldn't sign it. I understood that I wouldn't sign it, but I also wasn't performing in Israel, and it seemed like I was being scared. So I called my people and asked them that we perform in Israel." Nick Cave added in the letter at the time that it suddenly became very important to make a stand against those people who are trying to shut down musicians, to bully musicians and censor musicians and silence musicians. I love Israel and the Israeli people. He said, and he went on to say, I want to take a principled stand against anyone who tries to censor musicians. So really, you could say in a way that BDS made me play Israel. And that's a quote from Nick Cave. And that is in response to an effort by Brian Eno a few years ago to have Israel publicly shut out in a letter signed by multiple musicians. Cave would not sign it, and it is upon the discovery of all these actions that Mr. Esch of Dusseldorf, decided to disinvite Eno to that event. So it seems to me that there's a little bit of evening out, so to speak, where we have some artists disengaging from playing in Israel, while others will purposely go play it and disengage from folks who are otherwise against Israel. So that is an update on the BDS movement amongst singers and musicians and performers worldwide. So let's keep in mind that music usually and often is a bridge of peace, and that most sound-minded musicians will find that the best way to usher in and contribute to the peace process is to play at venues throughout the Middle East, including Israel, when the opportunity arrives. Shavua Tov. Have a great week.